The difference between evaluation and performance management relates to a couple of different kinds of things. Typically, we're interested in evaluating single programs, although we sometimes may be also interested in evaluating large and complex packages of programs. In government, these are sometimes thought about as major reform strategies. Now, when we talk about evaluating those kinds of initiatives, it is about, as I've said, trying to understand whether they have met their objectives and whether they did that effectively or efficiently. And it's often about trying to then inform our future practice. We're interested in understanding what we have done in order to do better in the future or to decide whether we do the same thing in the future. That's what evaluation is typically concerned with. Monitoring and assessment or performance management is really the ongoing assessment of the delivery or the implementation of a program or a package of programs. We typically talk about monitoring and assessment when we have larger programs of work. So we might have multiple programs, social programs that we're implementing that are part of a broader strategy that the government or some other stakeholder is trying to achieve. Typically, those large programs have a number of activities associated with them. They last for a very long time. They involve very, very many stakeholders. So they involve government, they involve customers and clients, they involve the general community. They may also involve service delivery agencies. Lots of moving parts, lots of people doing different kinds of things. We need to be able to determine with those long-lasting programs and strategies whether they're on track, whether we're starting to hit the targets that we're interested in, but we also need to know how well we're doing in terms of implementation. What activities are we engaged in? Are those activities happening in a timely fashion? Are there likely to be delays which might impede what we do going into the future? Monitoring and performance management and monitoring and the ongoing assessment of programs is about trying to keep track of those sorts of things so that stakeholders can know how the implementation of a large package of work is going. And one of the other differences, I suppose, between evaluation and performance management is that we typically performance manage because we want to understand the implementation of what we're doing now. Sometimes in a large program of work, that performance management will then help us to decide what to do going forward. But it's also about understanding the way in which we're implementing a program or a package of work in the present time to ensure that we're doing it appropriately, and also to identify where we may have gaps or weaknesses and where we may have room for improvement. With evaluation, on the other hand, what we're interested in is using information about how well a program has performed, typically in order to tell us something about what we might do next with another implementation.